Oh, that's just one day. I already wrote it down. I said box this graph.
Calculator. Alright, before we go any further, write down the two general equations for an arithmetic, what do you call it? Sequence. No. Term. Like find the arithmetic, the nth term of, yeah, I guess it's a sequence, whatever. For geometric and arithmetic, let's start with T sub n's.
We never came to homework. Oh, what she said.
Oh my gosh. Arithmetic, geometric. Write down the two formulas. The more you write them, the more it's just going to be part of your brain. Hi, Miss Beviak, how are you? Oh, it's great to see you, Sammy. How are you?
Good, thanks for asking. How are you?
Okay, thank you. No.
What did you do?
All right, what do we got? Arithmetic. T sub n equals T sub 1, not T1. You know it's arithmetic because the notation is D. D stands for common difference. You should also be able to figure it out because if we plug in some values, it's a line. A line is linear, so we'll look at that in a minute. Geometric.
T sub 1 times r to the power of n minus 1.
Multiplication. Multiplication is geometric. Times 3, times 3, times 1/2, times 1/4, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what's a mean? Average. Means an average. So we're going to talk about, you can have more than one mean in a sequence. You can have more than one mean in a sequence. So, let's say I tell you, you need to be told. So I'm going to tell you it's arithmetic. And I want you to find the mean between 4 and how about like 26. Lots of times you're going to see the sequence written this way, where the line stands for the missing term. So how can I figure out the missing value? Let's do. Great. Add, divide by 2. So what's my answer?
15.
Nope.
12.
You're telling me this is 15? Oh yeah, you're right. Just kidding. I was thinking that 15 plus, I don't know what I was thinking. Yes, it's 15. So how did you do that?
Add 4.
You add the 4 and 26. Divided by 2. Why did you divide by 2? Okay, so there's two terms. But that's not really why you divided by 2. You divided by 2 because, yes, you added some value, D, which you were able to figure out, and then you added some value, D, agreed? And how many times did you add? Twice, so you divided by 2. So what happens when I want you to find more than one mean? So let's say I ask you to find 4 means. Again, arithmetic. Between, how about, you have your calculator, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. How about 11? You know, we'll just do 11 for right now. We'll do the fraction in a minute.
11 and what?
between 11 and, I don't know, Brandon, 11 and what? Don't say 12. No, 22 is too, 22 is boring. Give me something better. 72. You know why? Because you think I'm going to give you something basic and easy on your quiz? No. So you should be saying, thanks, Brandon, for giving us a nasty number so we can practice it together in class.
It's not that bad of it.
Here's my suggestion is you turn that off before I like. Oh, no. Okay, so.
Is this arithmetic again?
It's arithmetic. I'm telling you it's arithmetic. So what are you going to do? Add 11 and 72 and divide by something or other? Perhaps. Yes? I don't like that. I mean, I do, but I want to do it the more algebraic way so that when the numbers get nasty, it's not so bad. Add D. Add D. Add D. Blah, 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 blah. Add D. Add D. La, 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 la. How many times am I adding D? 5 times? Agreed? 5 times? Okay. So I told you to write down the arithmetic formula for a sequence. So this is my first term. First term I gave you is the 11th term. The nth term, you know the nth term. The nth term in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The nth term is the 6th term, which is 72. It's the last term that I gave you in the sequence. There's no ellipses, so I know which one's the nth term. Yes? Follow?
Wait, so n is
For this particular sequence, n is 6.
so n is the total number.
It is the term, the n represents the term number, which in this case is 6. And why is it 6? Because we stopped. I give you 6 terms. Move on. Yeah?
But n is not only 6.
No, not, And over there, n was 3.
But like for the second term,
So here, I don't know what the second term is yet. I'm going to figure it out. But if I gave you 11, 30, whatever, I'm just making this up. X, Y, Z, P, Q, R, whatever, T. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So T sub 9. So the nth term for this particular sequence is the 9th term, which is T. And it's the last term of the sequence. But there's ellipses, you know, dots, 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 dots. I don't know what it is. Because there's no n. That's what the dot, 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 dots mean. Yeah?
so n is the last.
In this particular sequence, yes. Okay, so let's plug in. First term, nth term is what? 72. Is equal to, I'm plugging in. The first term, what's the first term? 11. Plus D, which I don't know. What's n?
6.
Minus 1? 5. Okay, now you use algebra.
Wait, what happened?
What happened where?
The 6 minus
Because 6 is n. So when you do 6 minus 1, you get 5. Math frac. I think we're going to need a math frac in this one. Maybe? No? Oh, is it nice?
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice. 12.2. You got lucky.
Thanks, Brandon.
So, D is 12.2. Yeah? How did I get that? I just did the algebra. So, I'm going to add 12.2. Plus 12.2. Plus 12.2. Blah, blah, blah. Ay, 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 ay. And you should check to make sure that at the end you get 72. $23.2, am I right? 35.4, 47.6, 59.8, is that right? Yeah? Okay, so you just found 5 means. So sometimes there are fractions and they're not so nice. And this one, it's going to be gross, I promise. I'm going to make it as gross as I can. Watch, it'll come out nice. Okay, still arithmetic. Let's do 3 means. Between oh no, hold on, I need a second to make up something awful. Okay. Okay. Between 957 and 477 over 133. All right, first let's review math frac. You have to know where the math frac key is. Otherwise, you're going to give me all these awful decimals, and I'm going to write on your quiz, your test, your final, whatever. Right now, math frac. 3 means. I'm going to start here. No decimals. The problem is given to you as fractions, you write your answer as fractions. You got to be consistent. I'll never give you decimals.
What if you change it?
I'm never going to give you decimals. Only time we generally use decimals is in all the word problems. Where should I start? Where should I start? We gotta find D. We can't do anything without finding D. If I were you, I would take in my quiz or my test or whatever. When I write answer keys, I always write down the formula. So here we go. What is T sub n? What's the value of the nth term? 477 over 133. And what's the first term? Hi, what's the first term? 957 plus D. Okay, what's n? That's n minus 1. N is 5, n minus 1 is 4. First term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term, n is 5, so n minus 1 is 4. If I remember and I've done it right, I think D is 6/7 maybe.
Yeah.
I think I've got it right.
Yeah.
So 477 over 133 minus 957 divided by 4. 6/7. You can't tell me you don't know where the math frac key is. We've done it lots, correct? Yes, we've done the math frac key. Someone confirm or deny my allegations. Thank you.
Yes.
I wrote the last one in there just because it's good to check. No, that can't be right. Oh, maybe it is. I'm just going to write it up here because I'm out of room. Check my work, please. And I'm going to do the last one just to double check. And it works. Am I good?
Yeah.
Great. Arithmetic. What? Yeah, because I was out of room. Great. Geometric. So in a geometric, I'm not looking for D, bless you. What am I looking for? R. Fantastic. Okay. So let's find, I'm going to tell you that it's geometric. Okay, the remaining problems are geometric, okay, unless I tell you otherwise. So let's find one mean. How about between 17 and 98? Okay, so I think I asked you already. What am I looking for? R, D, N, P, Q, R. So. Yes. What should I do? Excuse me. Thank you. Help. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Oh, you're multiplying by R squared.
So R squared. Yep. Times R is R squared. Yeah.
And then plus 2 times 17.
What? So what?
Multiply by 17.
Multiply by 17. Multiply what by 17?
R squared.
Okay, so Elliot says multiply R squared times 17. Kind of half believe him. I only half believe you, Elliot.
Multiply by 98 by 17.
Oh, Elliot says divide 98 by 17.
I agree. Yes, square root it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't understand where 98 over 17 came from.
You have to divide
It's-
because it's 17
The
times
17
R
is T.
3 minus 1. R 2 to 3 minus 1.
Okay. Square root it, and then I'm going to go back and talk about where the 98 17s came from. So square root it, I don't think, actually, I know for sure you cannot write it as a fraction. It's not fractionable. I know, is that a great word? I could just keep a diary of all, or like a dictionary of all the words I make up. How many answers?
1.
2.
Wait. Oh. But you only.
No, they both work. Give me 100, please. Give me 100.
2.40.
2.4? That's not 100.
Well, it's 2.40.
Thank you. You gotta talk about like significant figures and placeholders and whatever. I know it's your absolute favorite. 2.40. Plus or minus. So there are two answers. It's 17. Leave the number in your calculator. I wrote 2.40 on the board, but leave that number in your calculator. Help me out. Nearest hundredth, what do you get when you multiply by 17, please? How much?
45.
Thank you. Or there are two answers.
Negative 44.
No plus or minus. No plus or minus. What's your writing sequence? No plus or minus. Let's go back to why it's 98 over 17. 17 is your t sub 1. 98 is your t sub 3. So if I plug in, I already erased the formula. That's the formula I forgot. T sub n, 98, equals equals t sub 1 times r squared, and therefore you would divide by 17. That's where that comes from. Okay, are you ready for, like big shebang as they call it? No, we're not ready for anything yet? Okay, well, I'm gonna give it to you anyway. This is the Miss Batty Act. Math is my favorite subject. Please, give me more. Hold on. Second term, the third term, fourth term, the fifth term. Okay, I want three means geometric between 6 and 3,750. Man, I hope this works. Give me a second. It does. Yeah. Wow. All right. I guess you don't need me.
Okay, you press math and then board math.
Man, you guys are like going right ahead of me. So I'm gonna. Oh no, I'll let you work. I'm not gonna give you any hints yet. Wait.
Wait.
Jason, what are you doing?
Oh, I thought you were looking at me. I was like,
Does the window need moving? All right. I'm ready for some answers because it looks like you guys were all plug, and all done. Here we go. 6. What?
30 plus minus 30.
No plus minus. We're going to use two separate. Yes, but we're going to write them separately. All right. What's next? 150?
Yeah.
450?
750.
Whatever. 450, 750. Rocket science.
Actually, you do both.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. And then I heard some rumblings of negatives. Yeah? You just got half credit on the problem. There's 4 answers. How do you know there's 4 answers? Okay, the degree is 4 when you're solving this whole thing out. Wait, I'm getting there. Because if you do the actual equation, you're going to get out of the 4th. So here's what happens. We have that the last term is 3750. The first term is 6, r, and then n minus 1. So 3750 represents the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th term. Agreed? 3750 is the 5th term. So we're going to do it to the 4 minus 1. So 3750 equals 6 r to the 4th. R to the 4th, I believe, is 625.
Wait, where'd you get the 5?
Because it's the 5th term. The formula, I erased the formula. It's r to the n minus 1. Okay, great. How many answers are there, Ronald? 4. You gave me 2, not you. you gave me 2. So let me ask you this. You guys said that R was plus or minus 5. I think pretty much sounded like all of you got that. But here's the issue. R squared could be 25. Just hold off for a minute. If you square this, you would get R to the 4th equals 625. Do I have a true statement?
Yeah.
However, and R squared could be negative 25. Watch. Wait. Where'd that come from? What happens when you square R squared? You get R to the 4th. Agreed? R squared, R to the 4th. What happens when you square negative 25? Too real, too imaginary. Too real, too imaginary. Do I have to write them all? Of course you have to write them all because all of them work. So R is plus or minus 5, which you kindly gave me here. Or R equals plus or minus 5i. So here's my suggestion. This is just all of what I say to you is how I organize my work. You organize it how you want to. But this is how I do it. So I have the 6, and that's going to start whatever it is. And then 6, I got 4 answers. Yes? Yeah? So to help me so I don't forget, I'll write, I'm going to multiply by 5, and then here I'm going to multiply by negative 5. 5i, negative 5i, and that's 100% just so I have makes it visually easier for me. May not work for you. So when you get to like 6 times 5i, negative 30i. You know what? You do it. Figure out the remaining 2.
Why is this? How is the first? Where is the?
Because when you square root negative 25, you get I.
Oh wait, this is actually.
The square root of a negative number is I. So the square root, R squared equals negative 25. Square root, this is I root 25, and then plus or minus, because the square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. So there are 4 answers. Write the remaining answers.
Wait, is that right?
Yep.
The one you did, you wrote 5i times 6. Why is that negative 39? Why is it not just 30?
Because it's 30i and I made a mistake. Yeah, the next one's negative 30. Sorry. You are correct. And then keep going. Yeah, I messed that up. Your final answers? Positive, negative, or an I. No I squared. I squared is negative 1. You simplify that. All right, 5i. I've got 6, 30i. What's next? What's next? Negative 150.
Wait, why would it be? Oh,
Is that right? Check it out. Is it right? I squared is negative 1. That's negative 150. That should be a negative even on. Yeah. All right. The last row. 6, negative 30i. Then what? Negative 150, 750i, and then 37.
Oh, right. And no eyes.
There are i's in the answer, but there are no I squareds. No I squared. If you need to, write it out for yourself. Like 30i times 5i is 150 I squared, which is negative 150. Like if you need to, write it each out. Okay, so before I go over questions, make sure you're putting proper questions on the board. Homework due yesterday, page 570. Homework due yesterday, page 570. Put your questions on the board. Page 570.
How is there 30?
Oh. That's the, that was from the guess.
Page 570. That's the homework I'm going over right now. Page 570. 570. It was the homework due yesterday.
Don't do it. I forgot about it.
I think you're going to have to do, no logs.
Really bad.
Negative 1215. They're telling you what to do next. Then write down the formula. First thing I'm going to do. So they want to know where's negative 1215 in the sequence t sub 1 is 5. R is negative 3.
Oh, I got it.
Divide by 5.
But wow, I did homework.
Actually, you do have to use logs.
Oh, boy.
Or, there's two ways you can do it. You can use logs, but it's not necessary. 243 is 3 to the 7th, I think. 6th, 5th, 5th. No dividing. No. Stop. No dividing by 3. You do not divide by a base ever. You rewrite using the same base. Or if you wanted to, you could use logs. There's such thing as a negative base. It's negative 1. Okay, that's page 570 only. 570 only. Pass that up with your name.
Oh, wait, yes.
570.
Oh, shoot, my bad. Oh, yeah.
All right, questions. 576. Five 76. 79. Just kidding. 579. You're doing 576 right now. Uh, 31. 0, negative. Okay, so this is an issue. First of all, when you're writing a sum, so let's review this. Or maybe, hopefully you read. This is sigma notation. It's a capital letter S in Greek. Always means sigma. It will mean sigma from now until your math career is over. Sigma means. And it's a sum. Add up all the numbers in the sequence. Add up all the numbers in the sequence. So, okay, so I wasn't here yesterday, obviously. You might just want to do a quick heads up. Do an example really quick so you know. So this means find the sum of the first 5 terms. This means find the sum of the first 5 terms. But you need an equation to find the sum of. So let's say it is k plus 1 squared. Not arithmetic, not geometric, but it is a pattern. Not arithmetic, not geometric, but it's a pattern. So what do? Plug in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, add them all up. So the first term, k, n, who cares? It's just a variable. The second term is 2 plus 1 squared. So on and so on. So this is going to be 4, 9, 16. The next one would be 25. The next one would be 36. You can probably find a pattern without doing like all the work. That's not it. That's the sequence. That's the list. The sum is 4 plus 9 plus 16 plus 25 plus 36. And then you plug and chug. It's 20, 45 is for 90, I think. The answer is just some number, constant.
Is k always equal to 1?
Nope. Sometimes k will be 3, so they want you to add the third to the whatever term.
And then you go 3 plus.
Start with 3. If I tell you k from 10 to 15, you would add the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th terms. Okay, so now the question. So the 2 questions were 31. Okay, 31's interesting. Okay, right away, you can at least do this. If you're stuck on the pattern, you can at least do that much. Zero, negative 10. blah, blah, blah. Alternating terms. Alternating terms, what do you always do for alternating terms? Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Anybody know? Woo, hello, hello. Anybody know? What do you do for alternating terms? Positive, negative, positive, negative.
Multiply by negative.
To what power?
Wait a second.
Nope. Okay, here you go. It has to be n minus 1 to some, or negative 1 to some power. If k is 1, awesome, it's negative. But if k is 2, it's positive. And if k is 3, it's negative. And if k is 4, it's positive. Agreed? Odd terms would be negative. Even terms would be positive, but that's the problem. The even terms are negative. The odd terms are positive. This creates a problem. Even terms are negative. So what do I have to do? Any ideas? I gotta alter something. What do I need to alter?
You put negative 1.
No. If k is 1, 1's an odd number, it's negative. If k is 2, positive. If k is 3, negative. If k is 4, positive. If k is 5, negative. I gotta do the reverse though. I need the even terms to be negative. How am I gonna alter that? How am I gonna alter the exponent? Yep, or plus. Minus 1 or plus 1. That changes odd numbers to even and even numbers to odd. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to have negative 1 to the k minus 1. Plus 1's okay. What's the first term?
0.
Okay. If you take out the negatives, it's arithmetic, agreed? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, well, I just took out the negatives. Plugged into the formula. I don't know the nth term. I'm trying to find it. The first term is 0. We just figured out that d is 10. So t sub n is 10, n minus 1. Don't think I have time for third. I'm not going to have time for 33. Oh, n times n plus 1. 33 is n times n plus 1, or k times k plus 1. Okay, bell's going to ring. Make sure your name's on it.
You're right. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
One more, Jay. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers! Thank you.
They don't get it.
Wait, Jason,
Jason, we're right in Spanish. It's like classical to Dutch. Oh. Alright, ready? Written it? It's on 3, okay? Alright,
Alright, guys.
2, 3. Great, Eric, you stole it. Bad luck. Thank you, baby.
Bye.
Thank you, Ty.
Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Bye.
Alright, bye, Gavin.
Take care, Saturday. Bye bye.
Alright, see you later, Machine.
Dude, everyone wore the hoodie today.
Alright, am I being crazy about this whole thing? Should I not do this whole thing, or should I just let it go and So I just need, I think it's important that you have the conversation. I think that Dave needs to hear that his accusations, his claims about all these things are false, but I also think you need to recognize that nothing's going to change. And we're
I
gonna
do
get that.
recognize that.
That I think is the biggest thing. Like,
So-
I don't want you to get your hopes up, but
No,
nothing is going to change.
I totally get that.
And
But I
I
feel
think
like at
that
least that I can walk away saying, well, I tried.
totally.
And I tried and I tried, and it's just how the school works. That's just it. Like, and again, I don't care. I just think we should all have a say. I don't like this autonomy, the way that the district is moving. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's
Like,
fine.
students should be able to go out and calendar too. We should all.
It should. So now I do understand the one thing they're going to say is, well, you know, seniors, this isn't going to affect them anyway. Fine. Let the freshmen and sophomores vote.
Freshmen, sophomores, juniors.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like,
So I don't, the whole thing, tell them I said so, this whole bullshit about ASB, that is not
it's offensive.
our student population.
No. And I mean, I love, like, ASB kids are great. You know,
Oh yeah, I don't dislike them at all.
but they certainly are a different breed from everybody else, and they're gonna have different, like, obviously they're gonna have, like, yeah, we both. All right, so I'm gonna go to the dentist. There's another office. A new dentist.
Huh? Yeah?
Okay. That old dentist retired suddenly, and then the person who replaced him was doing dental work and like chipped my tooth in the back. And then I was like, what is this? And he didn't tell me. Like, I had to point out to him. So he was, oh yeah. So he was literally going to let me leave and not mention that he. So then he offered to fix it.
Well,
So I'm like, I know, I'll go somewhere else. Like, honestly, I'm not going to have, you don't know what you're doing. I'm not going to have you going and have carve away at my feet. Whatever. You know, I have dental anxiety. My dentist.
I don't like going anymore. I used to have no problem. You know, 3 root canals, one of which was totally fucked up. Totally fucked up when I had to go back. And then I had an implant, so I had 2 implants. And I already, no, I had 3 implants. I've had 2 implants on this side. I can feel something's going on with one in front, but it hurt. When you have an implant, nothing should hurt. I mean, you are like numb, dead forever. So I went, she's like, oh, you shouldn't feel that, you shouldn't feel that. So what she did, they took an x-ray, and when they put the cement, a piece of cement was stuck under the implant. Well, and it was like, it sounds much worse than it was, but it was sensitive.
Right.
Like, the whole reason I had the fucking implant was to hear the sensitivity. And she said, well, of course we're going to do it free of charge. I'm like, it's not about being free of charge. It's that it takes me, in traffic, 45 minutes to get to you. It takes me another 40 minutes to get home. And it's called an inconvenience.
Yeah.
It's a major inconvenience.
Anyway, I had a dentist in my small hometown who was a drug addict that nobody knew, and so he would give us fillings when we didn't need them, but he would go and he wouldn't give us any, like he'd say, well, stop and tell me if it hurts. We never had any kind of like Novocaine or Locking, whatever they use, nothing. And so we were all horribly traumatized. And one day the nurse was like, my mom, why are you bringing your kids here? Like, she's like, what? And she didn't know. So, yeah. So then after that, a huge thing came out where he was like selling the dental drugs for his own drug habit. And so I had like horrible like fear when I sit in that chair that it was gonna hurt me. And
I hate it. I can't stand it. And my teeth have become really sensitive over the years.
yeah,
And so I just sit there and I'm like, okay, Marsha, it's fine.
Yeah.
I need to start bringing, well, now that they make the earbud thingies, I need to just start bringing something that I can listen to.
yeah.
Because I hate it. And they're like, well, we're going to have what they call that. Clean your teeth. They put the fluoride.
Fluoride.
Yeah, I'm like, nope, no fluoride.
Really?
I don't want any extra anything on my teeth.
Did you say you're?
Before I have to use this, you know, the whatever. Yep. My teeth.
Fluoride prevents more cavities from forming.
That also prevents the sensitivity that you get.
Yeah. You're getting more sensitive because you're not doing the fluoride treatments anymore.
I don't know. They tell me I'm fine.
You should read about it.
They never make me do it. Like
No,
there's a
they-
thing.
they-
Oh, wait, but
they
there's
do it, but
there's a thingy in my file that says, "Oh, Marcia, you don't like the very, very, very end when they."
Yeah, I don't like
Oh
that.
yeah, no, I hate it because then they go up too far, and I get really bad sensitivity on this tooth.
but that's what helps your enamel like become less sensitive. It's a runaway situation. I might not know what I'm talking about, but that's what I think. Luis and I agree.
Yeah. I mean, they can't force you because if they force you, you won't be back.
Good luck. Oh my God, I'm so screwed. I'm getting a test tomorrow, and I haven't written most of it.
Yeah.
Are you under strict orders to like clean everything?
Nope. No, but I think I should. I saw that the superintendent sent, but they haven't told us anything.
All right, I gotta drop off my ballot somewhere. I don't even know where the hell I'm supposed to take it.
That's not good.
Oh boy.
My wife got 2 ballots this year.
She got what?
2 ballots.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know. It's been almost 3 years, but they sent one to her mom's house with her maiden lesson, and then we got one at home with my lessons. She's voting twice.
That's a little unnerving.
Yeah,
For
so-
me, I mean, as long as she's voting for who I want her to vote
Yeah,
for, fine.
yeah,
But
that was the best of you want to win.
all right, let's get this going.